First of all, can you introduce yourself?
My name's Kinan Sala. I'm a senior studying management with minors in biology and computer science.
And can you give a 1-minute pitch of your startup?
Yeah, the startup I'm working on is called Halo, and what we're doing is we're putting location-targeted advertisements on top of Uber and Lyft vehicles. So what we do is we use a smart digital monitor that attaches to the roof of any car. It displays ads outwards, and then we can dynamically change the ad based on the location of the driver in order to match the customer profile of that location. For example, if a driver is entering Beverly Hills and we know that that area is into luxury goods or expensive retail, we can only show ads for those, which means we only show ads to people that are likely to respond to them, which increases their conversion rate and increases the overall return on ad dollar spent.
And can you talk about the inspiration behind your startup or the problem that you wanted to solve?
Yeah, so something we noticed is over the last 10 to 20 years, online ads have become extremely sophisticated in how they target consumers and how they target their ads. But offline ads, billboards, bus ads, taxi ads, they've remained almost identical throughout that time period. They still look the same, they're sold the same way, and they still have many of the same problems. And one of the things we saw an opportunity to do is take these really sophisticated online targeting techniques and apply them in the offline world, and that's what we're trying to do with Halo.
Great. And what was one of the biggest challenges that you faced as a student entrepreneur?
The biggest challenge I think any student entrepreneur faces is just the ability to manage their time. It's really difficult. Many times you're forced to make a trade-off between working on your company or studying for an exam or doing something related to school. And finding the right balance is really difficult. Sometimes it's really difficult to advance your business when you have a lot of exams and stuff. So I think if you ask any student entrepreneur, it's always the biggest difficulty.
What specific challenges are faced in your industry and how have you overcome these?
So in the advertising industry, people really care about impressions. Everything's sold, all ads are sold on a cost per impression basis. And the big problem that everyone tries to solve is how can we accurately measure impressions? And it's really difficult for someone like us who we're showing outdoor ads and you can never exactly know how many people look at them or how many people act on them like you can with an online ad where you can just directly measure the clicks. So that's been the most difficult thing for us is finding out how we're going to measure attribution. The way we overcome it is we really, we're competing against billboards often, and what we rely on is the fact that billboards have absolutely no impression tracking, right? So they have nothing, and what we do, even though it might not be perfect yet, it's at least better than that, and in the future we have some ideas about how we can make that really robust.
And what resources have you utilized at Penn and specifically the Wise Tech House to help you along your journey?
So the biggest thing at Penn is definitely the network, in my opinion. A lot of our early customers that we're speaking to came through Penn Connections. A lot of the drivers we reached out Penn Connections. The Wise Tech House has also been great in terms of mentorship, resources, people that can introduce you to investors, give you feedback on your pitch deck. Really the people is by far the most important network that being at Penn or really being at any university, that's what really offers. You get to be in such a diverse talent pool of like-minded individuals.
And can you talk about any notable accomplishments such as funding or awards or clients that you've worked with?
We raised a little bit of money. I think we're going to launch a pilot in the beginning of next year in Philadelphia with 10 drivers and a few advertisers. So that's really our accomplishment that we're pushing towards. So in 2 months, I think we'll have some really great stuff to report back.
Great. And if there's one thing that you would redo or wish someone had told you earlier, what would it be?
I think I would have liked to start working on ideas come to you when they come to you, right? But it would have been nice if I had started working on this maybe a bit earlier and had more time to take advantage of all the resources at Penn. I feel like I'm kind of, as a senior that's entering, I'm about to start my second semester, my last semester at Penn, I feel like I'm really rushing to use all the resources at Penn, meet all the people I can, get all the awards and stuff like that. So if I had started earlier, I wish I had more time to explore that thoroughly.
And what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs?
The biggest advice I would always give to people, a lot of people come to me and they have great ideas or they have great projects that they're doing, but I really would encourage entrepreneurs to focus more on the team and how to build a team. Many people complain that it's very hard to be a solo entrepreneur, it's really hard to raise funds, and there's a good reason for that, and that it's just very difficult to build a company by yourself. And I see a lot of people focus a lot on building up their business, but they don't spend a lot of time on finding a co-founder or building out the team or finding people with the complementary skill sets that can really make it a more viable team. I think people should really spend more time on that even before developing the product really further, because if you don't have a strong team, it's really not going to, no matter how much work you put into the product, it's really not going to go anywhere. So that's what I would recommend to people, spend a lot of time on that.
And what do you think is the most important individual skill or characteristic that an entrepreneur should have?
Yeah, so I think that entrepreneurs at their core should really be salespeople. And it sounds a little bit counterintuitive. People don't like the idea of being a salesperson, but really entrepreneurs need to be able to sell their idea to investors. They need to sell their idea to customers. They need to sell their ideas to partners. Even if they're trying to bring on people later on when they hire people or they bring on co-founders, they need to sell their ideas to collaborators and people that they're going to work with. So really at all points in time, you need to sell. So yeah, an entrepreneur, without being a salesperson, it's really hard to get an idea off the ground.
And we have one last question just to get to know you better personally. Can you name one entrepreneur that you look up to and why?
I think this is a big cliche, but I would say Elon Musk. And really just excellence in so many different companies, in different eras, different industries, and a relentless pursuit of a mission. It's really admirable. And I think it's quite unique to him. It's probably why it's a cliche answer. A lot of people will say him, but I would say he's definitely the person I look up to.
Okay, and that concludes our interview.
Okay, great.